Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Master of Punk's Tamer of Sages, the king of the ring himself. But your boy Thicky Smalls, Gerard Michaels, in the house. Well done. Handled well.
That was beautiful.
Happy Friday, Gas Digital. It's your boy Gerard Michaels here, and to my left, at 6'3", 200 pounds, and every one of them is a problem, the king of the ring, the master of punks, the tame of the sages, the CEO of the RNC, the one, the only, pretty Mickey Gall. What's happening, dude?
Hey, yo.
What's popping? I decided I'm sick.
You're standing with me.
Oh, my neck is crinking, looking up at you all the time. We're gonna,
Welcome, dude.
We were given some really sage advice by an incredible consultant, and said, you know what you guys need to do to make your podcast stand out from everybody else's? I said, what's that?
Flowers podcast?
It was flowers. They said we got to put flowers everywhere, but I'm allergic to pollen, so instead we're going to be the world's first and only standing podcast, assuming
that can't be right.
I can make it for 2 hours. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, Pat McAfee.
It's probably gonna be a short one today.
Stands
guys.
for his podcast. So we don't want to be accused of swagger jacking. The great Patty Mac, big fan of the program. Patty Mac.
He always stands.
He always stands.
Never sits.
Never sits. Although everybody else on his team
Power move.
sits down.
Power move.
We're going to need Christian and Omri to stand up. This is the world's first and only 2-hour standing podcast. Welcome to Slick and Thick, Standing Strong.
Yeah.
What's
standing room only?
Standing room only. NFL draft was last night. Aaron Rodgers.
How about that guy getting picked by that team, huh?
Dude, that guy got picked. That guy certainly got picked. And how about that trade that certainly happened?
Yeah,
it's not like we're recording this on Thursday.
Yeah.
Hours before the draft.
Tonight,
no.
In our real life world.
No.
No.
This is Friday. And we're live.
Friday.
That's why we're going to go to the comments soon. And Omri, you just feel free to answer those comments for us, bud, because you know what? You deserve it.
These aren't live.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're faking it.
Oh.
I broke the fucking
There goes
wall.
kayfabe. I am really standing, though, so if I start breathing heavy or pass out, who here knows CPR?
Ew.
Great.
Gay.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, though.
Yeah.
And he came in and immediately started talking Super Bowl.
I think I like it. Even as a Giant fan.
Yep.
Like, I ain't mad at it whatsoever. I don't hate on the Jets. You know what I mean? I got to see a couple Super Bowls in my years. So
Last time the Jets,
it'll be fun for the Jets to be good.
Last time the Jets won the Super Bowl, my father was 11 years old.
Is that right?
11 years old the last time the Jets won the Super Bowl. He was very, very, very excited when the Jets got Brett Favre, feels like 100 years ago. And that bad experience has his expectations very tempered for this one.
I got a bunch of wild similarities between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Is Aaron Rodgers suing the Pat McAfee show also?
I don't think AR sent his dick anywhere.
Not yet, but there is time.
Yeah, we'll give him time.
Shout out Jen Stelter, absolute babe.
Who's that?
That's
who he sent to.
That was the recipient of. And have you ever seen said picture?
I did.
Not great.
It's sad.
Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great. Christian, if you sent that picture to your stripper girlfriend, she would now be your stripper ex-girlfriend. That's how bad that picture is. Yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Have you seen?
So, Brett Favre, the great gunslinger.
Well, this is Gas Digital, right, Omri? So you could go ahead and throw on screen a picture of Brett Favre's dingus.
Yeah, it couldn't have been his best work.
Yeah.
He was just like quick.
I gotta tell you, I mean,
I expected more out of the gunslinger.
Yeah, honest to God, if that's a power move, you're sending that unrequested.
I want to see Jen Stelter. You said her name.
Yeah,
I want to see what provoked that. Which made him send that soft penis to
I don't know. You know what? Jets quarterbacks have a rough history with sideline reporters. You got Joe
Namath.
You got Joe Willie Namath.
I want to kiss you.
That was old cute Susie Colbert.
Yeah.
Susie Colbert. So actually, let's take a guess at who it could be. Doesn't Aaron Rodgers have a history with Aaron Andrews?
What do you mean a history?
I thought they dated. I thought they
They smushed?
I thought they smushed. I thought they did a little of the DNA exchange.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not in the fucking
I like this standing up thing.
TMZ,
you know what? You kind of got me.
ESPN over here. But let me give you a couple similarities for the sports fans, all right? So they obviously both were Packers that are now Jets. Both won their lone Super Bowl at the age of 27.
Okay.
All right. Both got traded to the Jets after 15 plus years in Green Bay.
Weird.
Both players' final game as a Packer was a loss at Lambeau.
That's probably why they got traded.
Both QBs went 2-6 in their final 8 passes as a Packer.
What? That's weird.
Weird stat.
Okay.
Both got hurt and replaced by their first-round backup against a one-loss NFC East team.
Wild.
Oddly specific.
Yeah.
You know how fucking these stats guys are, right?
They were on a Sunday, too, huh?
Yeah, right. On a Sunday in America. Both players won multiple MVPs as a Packer.
How about that?
Yeah, man, it's wild shit. So I'm excited to see what happens there. That definitely makes the Jets one of the hottest teams in town, which they've been suffering. Who named the last dope Jet quarterback? We got Vinny Testaverde.
They have
the fucking Italian stallion over there.
Stallion, Chad Pennington, Vinny Testaverde.
Chad Pennington was all right.
Yeah.
Chad
He was a good game manager. Yeah, he was good for what they were looking to do with that team.
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez got the team to the AFC Championship. Yeah.
You're right.
Fifth, but you expect more. I think Sanchez was 5th overall pick. I mean, and it's not like they have drafted. Darnold was 3rd overall. Remember with Saquon Barkley, everybody was like, it's either going to be Sam Darnold or it's going to be Josh Rosen. A lot of people wanted Josh Rosen. Now there's this idea everybody and their mother wanted Lamar Jackson and everybody wanted Josh Allen. Back then, nobody did. I remember arguing with people that I thought Lamar Jackson was going to be good in the NFL, and they were like, you're crazy. I was like, this dude's going to be good.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Doesn't always translate. But look at Lamar Jackson, man. He's one of the best. Now, do you think he goes somewhere? You think he's leaving Baltimore?
I don't know, man. I mean, do you know that
they just got OBJ?
The deal that Jalen Hurts signed was for less guaranteed money than what Lamar Jackson turned down.
Okay.
So I have no idea who's going to give him the deal. I don't know who gives him the contract. I don't know who has, he wants a fully guaranteed contract. He is his own agent. His mother is.
He got rid of his agent?
He hasn't had one for 2 years. His mom and him are doing the.
His mom's in him?
Yeah.
Shit.
So I don't know. And then it gets to a point where it's like, the further it goes, the further you're away, the less, the contracts start moving in the opposite direction.
Right.
Listen, I'm excited for the Jets for my father. Do you know that they have
He's a Jets fan?
Yeah. Do you know that they have the.
How'd you become a Giants fan then? I always am a little I'm always a little suspicious, a little, skeptical of these guys.
Yeah.
Don't go for their dad's teams.
My dad was a Giants.
What kind of fucking son?
My dad was a Giants fan. Well,
you guys branch out and whatever team my fucking father roots for, that's my fucking team.
Sure.
I'm in this house.
Mm-hmm. In this house.
Not that it's forced, but the Giants, the Yankees, the fucking Knicks, and the Rangers. All the New York teams. Teams that were there when he was a kid, those are my teams.
Sound like my uncles. In this house, we vote Democrat. My dad was a Jet fan, then became a Giant fan. Then when Parcells went to the Jets, went back to the Jets, and he just kind of stayed there. He likes the Giants too, but he's a Jet fan. All right. I also just think he likes complaining. Right. It's a lot to complain about. Yeah, it's a lot. This team is unbelievable. Even when they were great, he hated Rex Ryan. He was like, this guy bloviates.
Bloviates?
Bloviates. He goes, that guy bloviates.
I don't know what that means.
It actually kind of works out for Rex Ryan. It was a good word.
What does it mean?
Can we pull up bloviate there, Omri? This guy bloviates. Yeah.
He likes feet.
BLOV.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Rex Ryan?
Yeah, Julian Edelman put that on blast. Yeah, that was one of the best post-game interviews of all time. We really tried to put our best foot forward, but
really?
Yeah.
I'm sweating like a motherfucker.
It's you gotta toe the line.
I'm baking in the sun.
Foo-wee.
That word means to talk at length, especially in an inflated or empty way.
Okay.
Bloviates.
Which is what the comments often accuse us of doing.
Bloviates.
We're bloviating. We're filling time.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, 2 hours about talking about nothing's hard, folks. All right, but I mean,
I wonder if now didn't you say you knew that the word pussy doesn't come from like a cat?
Yeah.
Like we call someone a pussy?
Yeah.
Guys, you know this? Anyone know what pussy comes
It doesn't.
from? Or
Pussy doesn't come from the
Pussy?
word from vagina. Did you guys know
No?
that? When someone calls you a pussy, they're not. It has nothing
you
to
think
do with
they're
the
saying,
anatomy.
Yeah, you
Did
think
you know
they're
that?
saying like, oh, you're a vagina, like you're a girl, you're soft, whatever. What are they saying?
I called Mickey up. I found this. I was so excited. I called him up to tell him this. He hung up on me.
Well, because he like started talking. He was like very excited. It
was very
and
excited.
Like, and he was like, "Hey, did you know that?" And he started talking. I was like, "Hang up." It was just funny as hell. Like just to hear like him just like all excited and just to let the fucking air out of him a little bit.
I could
He
have.
came in with a head full of steam, and I just needed to fucking exercise a little fucking
I became less happy to tell him after that.
He did become. Yeah, I had to fucking drag it out of him.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't want to know.
Yeah. A big match energy guy over here. Big match energy guy. So the pusillanimous. You can look that up, Omri.
That sounds like a platypus's
pusillanimous.
cousin.
So it's a Latin word that became an Old English word, and basically the Latin word was like frail, small, like you're a coward, and pusillanimous. So apparently, when Rome took over Britain, and there was Rome, it was Roman Britain. A lot of like the people back home in Rome wouldn't go visit their family.
Hey, that wasn't nice of Rome.
What?
That wasn't nice of them to take over Britain.
Not originally. Britain was one of the places that really liked being taken over by Rome. They begged Rome to stay when Rome was leaving, and Rome was like, nah, this is too expensive. We're out of here, man.
Right.
Britain really liked Rome. A lot of the other places, Gall, kind of didn't.
Which is how my name is pronounced, but not spelt.
Gall.
Gaul.
Yeah, the Gauls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some people, when they say, like some people say Mickey Gall. Mm-hmm. Right?
Because there's no U.
Yeah, no, but like mall, ball, fall, Gall. Everything A-L-L. Like what is all?
Yeah, all.
Yeah.
Gall.
Say that shit right, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
I remember all the time. Especially because when I'd be playing football, I'd be getting like 20-something tackles a game.
Oh.
It was like, like so many tackles. So
many
every time I'd be like, tackled by Mickey Gall.
Mickey Gall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to get up and be like, come on.
I'd be like,
yeah, the worst I ever got, I think I told you this, I was coming up to the plate somewhere in Pennsylvania, and they said, now batting Gerard Hargan. And I literally,
what?
Only time in my life while I was walking to the plate, I actually looked up at the PA and like, really?
Gerd?
For real? Really? Yeah. Yeah, that was, to get it that wrong, you have to figure
Isn't that like a disease dogs get?
Gerd?
Gerds?
I don't know.
Like
Gird your loins. Gerard Hargan.
Hargan. You do look like a Gerard Hargan, though.
I look like a Gerard Hargan?
You do look like a Gerard Hargan.
I have Gerard Hargan tendencies.
Christian agrees. He's shaking his head no, but he totally agrees.
Many a Gerd. I have many a Gerd tendency. It's true.
Yeah.
But then actually I got so upset about it after the game. I went to go have a word with him, and then
That's a little much. He didn't know how to read. Probably some sort
this
of
gentleman was
he was old.
Nope.
Fat.
No. Well, yes, but it's funny that's where you went. He was actually developmentally disabled.
Well, that's what I said before, but I said it very quietly.
Being fat's worse than being developmentally disabled. To you,
it's more acceptable.
To you, being fat. To every wrestler ever, being fat is like you could have somebody that's like, oh, he's a racist. That guy's gross. Oh, he's a murderer. Ew. He's fat. Kill the fucking guy. Kill that piece of shit.
Well, that's true. That is absolutely how I feel.
Yeah,
you're right.
I'm
fat phobic.
No, you're not afraid of fat people whatsoever. You're like
No, I'm like
If you could give people 6 weeks to either lose the fat or die, you'd sign off on that tomorrow. You'd be like, I'm giving you time.
Honestly, what do I care? Just because they're gobbling up all the food? What do you think my reasons are?
I don't know why people get, but there is like visceral anger at all things fat always. Like you the way.
No. I know we're fucking around a little bit. Do you actually think that I feel that way at all?
I think there's hints of it. Yeah, I do. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. Yeah.
Well, okay. Maybe just like because it like is unsightly. And like I feel bad for like why would you want to go through your life like that?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, fat guy, like why would you not want to just have a fucking like dope body?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think that is what it is. I think you see fat people the way other people see like bums on the street. Like, oh man, why?
I'm like, that's
why?
how you're doing your fucking spin on this shit rock.
Yeah,
on this little shit pebble.
There's no doubt.
That's how you're doing your. Could be 80 years. Probably gonna be about 44.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There it is. Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe so maybe a little bit.
Oh, a lot of it. Maybe a little.
No, you're right. I'm all out on no.
But honestly, I mean, as far as most of like the wrestlers in the MMA community, you're pretty good about it.
Yeah, no, I don't really.
Some of those guys that have to do heavy weight cuts.
I don't want them to. I don't want them to die. I just want them away from me.
No, yeah, you don't want them to die. You just want them to be very aware that they're going to die.
Don't get in my path of vision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
don't do a podcast with me for 2 hours.
It's like when you have exactly. It's like when you have like the really nice house on the block, and the person with the ugly
your
house.
Lawn.
You're like, hey,
take care of your lawn.
You get to look at my beautiful house all the time. I got to look at this shit.
It's not really fair.
It's not
fair if you think about it.
Hey, and it's condescending too, but it's condescending in a way where it's like, I'll help you. How do you need help, bud?
Listen, I'll tell you this. I actually do know what you're talking about, and I know people who do feel that way. Not me. I love all you fatties. All right, I got mad love for you fatties.
Yeah.
Like, but girls feel that way. I know a lot of girls. Look, Christian shaking his head, yes. Mm-hmm. Old sexy body Christian over here shaking his head. He's like, yeah, all my hoes hate them fat motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Yeah. I hear it mostly from girls. Girls seem to have like a vitriol reaction to like
50-50. Some of them are they're kind of into it, but
I think the ones who like who had like fat dads, they're probably like. You know what I mean? That's probably your fucking wheelhouse. You know what I mean? You're fucking going yard on all these fat daddy hoes.
Yeah. I do much better on the girls without dads, but the ones with fat dads, we're right there. But what do you think? You think it's a whole bunch of skinny motherfuckers these bitches are taking the fucking pictures of the boat on? Skinny dudes are too busy fucking doing their abs all day. These motherfuckers ain't got no money.
They ain't out there.
You either have abs or money. If you have abs and money, you're fucking king shit. But you either have abs or money.
Right.
And
some of us. Those poor souls. I think I'm a very prolific songwriter. Obviously, of course. I'm a ghostwriter. I write songs for everyone. Basically, like
pretty much
Drake and like all the other singer songwriters.
A lot of people don't know this about you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this about me. But
me,
like literally,
I didn't know this about you.
you know what I mean. Gotta keep it.
So do you think if someone is overweight, you immediately have your opinion of them is less than it would be otherwise?
No.
Of course it is. Why would you lie?
My opinion of them is less?
Absolutely.
I guess I would think like. I maybe a little bit. Like I would have to assume either you don't know about nutrition, or you lack discipline, or you don't care. But see, if I go to that third one, then it's almost like kind of like good on you then. If you're sometimes I could even be jealous of a person like that. I'd be like, hey, you seem to be having a nice time, just like walking your dog with your fat ass.
Well, it's not, dude. It's not just you. I mean,
it's like, hey, you seem to be. You know what I mean? I bet you go home and have nice snacks and lay around a lot.
Yep.
And are happy
for sure. It's like
you're enjoying the pleasures of this universe.
Well, it's not just you though. I mean, think about.
What do you mean it's not just me? I'm not a fat phobic. I don't hate the fats.
It's not just you who hates the fats.
I don't have any hate for them at all.
You don't have much like for them.
That's not true, bro. I love you. You're like my best friend and brother.
Yeah.
And look at you.
I know. You've been chipping away at the fat since you met me. I'm fucking.
Well, since you've gotten less fat, I've started chipping away at the fat.
Yeah, a lot.
You wear it very well, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll get back to the water you have me drinking.
Yeah. Got you drinking water, got you boozing only like once or twice a week, top, sometimes less.
Maybe, sometimes less. It's been brutal, man.
Yeah.
But it's not just you who hates the fats.
Who else hates the fats?
Literally everybody throughout history. It's
well, I thought it used to be a sign of like not being a peasant.
It was for a very short period of time, but out of the 7 deadly sins.
Hey, Julie, you hate the fats, Miss Loren?
Am I involved?
Do you hate the fats?
Nope.
No, she's not.
Nope.
Do you hate the fats?
Nope.
Come on.
Like,
Do you hate fat people, or do you
I
like
can't-
them less?
no, that's rude.
I've been saying I do.
I-
Gerard's been saying I do for the past 10 minutes.
I like everyone.
Liar. She's a liar.
Hates the fats.
She's lying.
Hates the fats. But it's not just her. It was the 7 deadly sins. 2 of them. One of them's don't kill. One of them's don't steal. One of them's don't fuck your neighbor's wife. All right? Out of those 3, there's only 4 left. And 2 of them, sloth and gluttony, don't be fucking fat. So even
Wait,
God
whoa.
himself.
I feel like you're mixing up the 10 Commandments and the 7 deadly sins.
Oh, I definitely am, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, honor your mother and father and
Honor your mother.
sloth.
Yeah. Sloth.
You're
What is
mixing
it?
them
So
up.
it's jealousy,
Jealousy,
sloth,
anger, lust, wrath, and anger, I think is the
Gluttony.
second one.
gluttony.
Gluttony and sloth, yes, sir.
I'm trying
That's
to.
2 of them.
Damn, I'm trying so hard to watch the Brad Pitt movie back in my brain
7?
right now. Yeah.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What are
man?
the 7?
What's in- it's sloth, and gluttony. So 2 of the 7 deadly sins are about being fat for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other ones are anger, right?
Anger.
and lust.
Lust.
Bro, I'm like at least 5 of the
Greed.
7
You
deadly
forgot
sins
greed.
by noon every.
Greed and gluttony are a little similar too. I feel like anger and wrath are no. That's got to be 1.
No, it's just wrath. It's not
Jealousy?
anger.
Jealousy?
It's lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride.
Envy and jealousy.
Envy and pride.
Envy, pride, and I might
There's a
go.
bunch of synonyms.
I'm 6 for 7 before noon every day. Some days 7 for 7. Some days 7 for 7
Yeah.
before the clock even hits PM.
Yeah. You're a fucking monster.
Wow.
You're a
I
monster.
am. I oftentimes.
How do you? Well,
why
explain.
do you think
Let's
I'm
go through
advocating
your
for
day.
everybody to have guns?
Let's go through your day a little bit on how you partake in each of the 7 deadly sins. So we get up, ice cream sandwich to the face. What do we do? Get up around.
I think
about-
lust
round
is
about noon?
first.
Lust for sure.
Gotta be first.
Yeah,
you're-
I wake
you're
up and I'm
whacking
already lusting sometimes. I'm already at full lust sometimes before I've even gained consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that just means you're healthy. That just means you still got testosterone coursing through your body. Waking up like a bing.
Yeah. I love to hear it. Yeah. So you wake up full lust. Then what
Well,
do
do
you
you
do?
express your lust?
Otherwise, it'll kill you. You have to express your lust.
Yeah, you gotta empty the fucking chamber.
Yeah, let's call it my morning ablutions. I perform my morning ablutions.
Okay, all right. So we get a little light on the feet, light in the ball sack. All right. Then what? One down.
What's next?
You tell us, what do you do next?
I go immediately to Twitter to read the news of the day. So that becomes wrath immediately.
Cool.
Wrath.
Gluttony next.
What about you see people like
Then after-
like flossing on Instagram? Do you
After
become
Twitter,
jealous?
I go to Instagram. That becomes both pride when I post and envy when I'm like, this motherfucker.
All right, so we're at 4.
This dude got booked. They're booking this dude for real.
Like who?
Oh, we're not. Oh, we're gonna name names now. Oh, now we want to name names. Okay.
Yes, name names.
Yeah, sure. We don't have enough time. We would run
much
out of time.
time you got,
How
buddy?
much time you got? Anyway, yeah. Thanks for the invite to Skankfest, guys. Great. We'll see you out there.
So we're at 4.
Yeah.
Oh, you throwing shots at Gas Digital mugs?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Can we?
Which
get an
Gas
invite?
Digital
Can we
guys?
get an
I
invite?
think all the Gas Digital comedians are very funny.
I love Gas Digital. I just, was like, there's a lot of people going to Skankfest, and did you get your invitation? Are you keeping it from me?
I mean, I feel like I have like an open invite.
Yeah. You know
know
why?
what I mean?
Because
I
they
would-
like people with abs.
True. Everybody does.
Yep.
It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah. Much more of a gift, I think.
Probably right.
Yeah, probably. So that's. I mean, I've been awake for 15 minutes, and I what am I 4 in?
You're 4 in.
I'm 4
We got 3. What are our next 3? Do we hit them by noon?
Sloth is me laying.
What time
in bed
are we getting
for
up?
Full 9:30.
That's
maybe.
not bad. That's not bad.
Maybe.
That's not bad. That's
Yeah.
not bad at all. But all right, how long do we lay in bed for?
Oh, till if I'm answering emails and shit like that.
Well, that's work.
Well,
Let's not say answering emails because that's work for you.
Okay, but
That's your 5x5 rule
I do
or
my
something?
5x5, but the whole time I do my 5x5, I am clearly conscious of the fact I could be doing this on a treadmill.
Okay.
100 for an hour while I lay there in bed, sending emails and avails and doing my fucking posts and editing on CapCut.
I'm not gonna lie.
I know I can be doing it on a bike.
This morning I stayed in bed for about like 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, I'm like doing like double sessions and like getting up at 6 a.m.
sweating
Getting up. I'm telling
right
you, bro.
now.
I know my back got the side.
See,
Thanks for
this right here.
That's my
all right?
metabolism.
This is thin privilege right here. Like a fat guy was sweating like that, it would be cover up. It would be, oh my God, what are we doing?
I
right
know
now?
what I think I'm
This
gonna do.
motherfucker's out here like,
I'm just gonna dump water all over me, and then you can't tell where the fucking sweat is.
it's fair. Happy haircut, by the way,
Thank
for
you,
everyone
dude.
to know. Happy haircut,
Thank
dude.
You. Thank you. I don't. Yeah, a lot of people were very complimentary. They said I looked, like so handsome. People
Too.
said I looked so much younger.
Yep.
Also, not as homeless.
Oh.
I got a few of that.
Oh.
I didn't realize I was looking so homeless. No one told me until
Yeah.
after.
This
It's
is
kind of like you when you lose the weight. That's when they tell you you're fat. You know what I mean?
totally.
You know?
Oddly enough, it's almost undeniable. I got more pussy 100 pounds ago, for sure. 100%.
Well, but this is not the same.
100%.
I'll tell you why. You were throwing much more spaghetti up at that wall. You were out at the bars every night.
I was.
That's where the pussy's at.
True. Do be.
If you're staying home and being healthy and getting your rest and fucking eating your fit meals.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Way better life.
It's
way better. Anyway.
bro. When I'm fucking hungover, like if I drink, I feel like fucking shit the next day. I feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Key is to never stop drinking, friend.
Right.
And that's where your good buddy, cocaine, comes in.
Yeah. I don't know him.
You don't know him.
Never met him.
Never met him.
Yeah. I think though when I turn like 80,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna try it all.
That'd be hilarious.
I'm gonna start
Just like
coking.
80, just
Start
turn the fuck
coking.
up.
Start heroining.
You're gonna be at that place in Jamaica. Just I'm here for the women.
My heart's just gonna
the wild
explode.
women, the ripping and the tearing, the ripping and the tearing.
Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah. I'm about 80. I figure I get like a little H addiction or something, but not when I have like a real life.
H addiction.
Heroin.
Thank you, bud. Why?
Seems sick.
At 80?
People like it so much.
The way science is going, 80 might not even be that old by the time you're 80, man.
Yeah, you're right. Then
I mean, there's guys out there at the pickleball court 70 years old. I would have never thought it. All this new stuff as far as like, as far as health and fitness and longevity, all these things are really literal, miracles of science. And I've been, everybody thinks I'm this anti-vaxxer, anti-fucking science. I'm not at all. I'm anti-government and anti-fucking corruption and anti-lying. But there have been some improvements over the course of our lifetime that's unreal. Unreal. I mean, Tom Brady's 45 years old, was playing in the NFL last year. That would have been unheard of when I was a teenager.
Right.
Would have been unheard of. Brett Favre was, they were, we talked about him earlier. He was 38 years old. And people were like, this is unbelievable. He's the NFL's Iron Man. This is crazy. Yeah. And he literally looked 38 when he was out there. Pull up a picture of Rod Beck, guys. Pull up a picture of Rod Beck. This guy, when he was 29.
I think we did this bit before.
It wasn't Rod Beck, but when he was 29 years old, this guy looked like he'd be 45 today. One of the best pitchers in baseball. Pull up what a 29-year-old in 1990 looked like.
If you look back, especially if you look back into like the 80s and stuff, like a fucking 30-year-old looks like they're fucking 50.
It's insanity. There's no doubt these improvements are great, but
people got to be careful with the plastic we're ingesting, though.
Well,
like young men
injecting
getting
themselves
fucking
a lot.
getting
they're
like
injecting themselves.
A
lot of people are injecting themselves with the fillers and all that.
And I was
stuff.
just kidding about that doing all those drugs and stuff. You shouldn't do that, guys.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
Yeah. I don't want your mom to hear this and get really upset.
Yeah, whose mom?
Your mom.
My mom?
Your mom.
I tell her not to listen.
Probably a good idea. Yeah. It's not really our demographic.
No. Yeah, probably shouldn't be listening to any of this stuff. But shit, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the plastics. People are getting like 30-something-year-old people are getting like asshole cancer from fucking, because like we have like plastic, so like we store so much food in it and all that stuff. We're like eating bits of plastic like like throughout our life, like so much. You know. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
The fillers and all that stuff they put in like fast
probably
foods. It's collagens and all that stuff too. Or
no,
what?
collagen is good.
All collagen?
I don't know what you mean by all collagen.
I think there's some collagens that are like fillers that aren't that your body can't really break
are
down.
probably not so great.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You
Collagen proteins are great for you.
Now, you talked about women not liking fat guys earlier. Women like fat women as long as they're fat. They like to keep one around the group.
Yeah, by comparison.
Yeah, and then that one assumes the idea of like the mom for the group. So
she's the mother hen.
So those girls
Starts
go
pecking away at the fucking
and be as flirtatious as they want, and then they just wink at her to shut it down when it comes time to take it. They know their role. But have you ever seen that group of friends when the fat one starts, getting in shape? That group of friends hates her so much and so quick. Oh my God.
Dude, no one hates women like women hate women.
Women hate women. The only people that have it worse.
Because like on their Instagrams, they're always like pumping each other up. Like even like they'll be like hot, set, like mommy, blah blah blah. Like they they blow up like their Instagrams.
Yep.
They're just faking. I know they're faking. They're like doing like, hey, like you saw I was supportive. Like you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think like 90% of it's bullshit. I think there's like a little bit of it that's like, yeah, that's my girl. Like, fuck yeah, love you. You know what I mean? But go ahead and throw them cheeks up.
You know how many times I've seen girls do that exactly?
I feel like slut.
And the night before, they were talking about how much they hated that chick to me.
Sure.
They were talking about how much they hate that girl. Instagram's listening to our conversation, pulls up that person in the algorithm on my morning poop scroll, and sure enough,
that's her
fire, slay queen. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what happens when I say that? In my brain, she goes into one group or the other group, and that's never saying anything to this girl ever. Mm-hmm. Nothing. You are out. Immediately out.
Yeah.
The only people that get it worse than those girls.
Ain't loyal.
You ever met a black guy in a group of black guys who comes out as like a conservative?
No.
Oh man.
No, I mean, no.
Oh man.
So wait.
The white people in that friend group happened in my buddy who worked at a production company with us came out. And, it was like him coming out of the closet. It was like liking my posts.
Gotta tell you something. I like these conservative ideals.
Kind of crazy. And the white people started getting like real loose with some of the things that they were talking about this person. I was like, bro, you can't say that. Like, what do you think? Just because?
Like what?
Oh man, and slurs, straight up slurs.
What?
Straight up slurs.
I don't understand.
I'm telling you, it's wild, man.
What slurs, and can you be specific?
I won't. Can I be? Yes. Will I be? No. What slurs? A lot of Uncle T's being thrown around. How about that? From a white person, from white women, which is outrageous.
Huh.
Yeah. You support those racists, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, whoa. All right. Maybe I just don't think we should be spending $1 billion in the Ukraine, but whatever. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, and also, you're learning. It's been my theory about this, but I literally just lived through it with somebody. It's way better to be the furthest left person in a room full of people who lean right than it is to be the furthest right person in a room full of people who lean left. I just lived through this. Somebody who came down to Fort Lauderdale, was hanging out with me and my friends. They loved her. She was great. Didn't hear a bad word about her. I go up to Orlando, hang out with her and her friends. All hated me. There was nothing I could have done right. It was one emasculation test out of the other. And as I was driving home, I said, this is it. This is Brooklyn and Florida all over again. I could be the furthest left person in a room full of crazy Christian conservatives, and they all treat me with respect. They treat me well. They tolerate whatever dissension I provide. If you have any disagreement whatsoever with people that lean left, that's it. They don't want nothing to do with you. Not only do they disagree with you, you're a bad person. Get out of here. And I don't even think it's a theory, really, at this point. This is actually, I can say, qualifiably true through my anecdotal lived experience. Maybe other people have different lived experience, but through my lived experience, this has been the truth.
Well, to be fair, you are wearing gold brass knuckles.
And I had a cowboy hat. So totally douche for sure. But, Yeah. I remember when like Black Lives Matter was going off and like everybody was talking about, we deserve respect, we deserve this. In my mind, I was like, you think being black's hard? Just try being fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, nobody gets any respect. Crazy. Be sitting on the bus, nobody would want to sit next to me. Why?
Because you're probably smelly.
Am I less of a human being? Am I a second-class citizen?
them.
Or am I just a plus-sized? No justice, no... You know what? The fat movement would have a lot more, like, followers if we could ever just, like...
There is a
march.
a fat movement going on.
And I hate them. Like, I look at Lizzo and I'm like, come on,
your
baby,
boy,
you ain't it. You ain't it. Come on, Lizzo.
Your boy Jordan Peterson's not a fan, huh?
Nobody is. I mean, getting fat and like being lazy. You know what? My honest opinion of it
I feel
is.
like we came full circle here, but go ahead. You're a self-hating fatty. Go ahead, buddy. It all comes out now.
I feel like we came. I feel like we came full pear shape here.
Came full fat guy.
I think it's the same way people view other things, where it's like it's a signal that something's genetically wrong, right? Like if somebody's bald guys feel really insecure about being bald or whatever. Like people aren't generally fat because they want to be fat. Generally, they're fat because either they grew up in an environment where they weren't taught proper.
Yeah, there's a bunch of crappy food that the cheap food mostly is terrible for you.
Yeah, or it's an indicator.
Like I see people like blaming like some of these like fitness like things I follow. Like they'll be like, look at this video of these people in the 1920s, and they say, oh, it's obesity's genetic or whatever. It's like look at, and like it'll be all these like thin people, whatever.
Yeah,
I think you're kind of set up for failure. You 100%. Have to like educate yourself because most of like expensive organic good food is more expensive.
Way more expensive.
You know what I mean? So like someone uneducated be like, yeah, I'll just take the cheaper delicious shit over here.
Or poor. If you're a mother of three,
of course,
and you got X amount of money, it's hot dogs and ramen. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now other people, now we know, get as many vegetables as you can. There's also like it's easy to microwave something, and I know fitness gurus that tell me, look, if you can microwave it, you shouldn't be eating it, right? Like people eat as many greens, as many fruits as you can.
Say that the microwave is like you shouldn't put any food in the microwave.
Yeah.
I don't totally believe that. Like it changes the chemical compound and it blah 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 blah.
Sure, I think basically what they're saying is like a rule of thumb is if it can be preserved. Whether it's canned or frozen.
They're saying like it reduces the nutrition on it.
Correct.
You think it is correct?
I'm correct that's what they say.
I've read that.
Obviously, I don't know. Obviously. But the other side of it is like, people don't know how to get out of it. It is an indicator of some sort of some problem. Either it's depression or it's alcoholism, or
laziness, sloth.
Well, no doubt with laziness and sloth, I feel like are part of depression. But also, like if you live a sedentary lifestyle and you've never been an athlete, how do you get out of a sedentary lifestyle?
Just gotta go for them walks.
Got to go for the walks. Yeah,
take them walks.
There's always an answer, and I think that's what fit people kind of don't understand is. Just do it type of a situation.
Yo, there's this lady I see walking all the time, and I'm telling you, she must walk for like miles, and that must be all she does because she's doing it a lot. So lean and like ripped up, like it's crazy.
Yeah, you advocate the walk. You're a big fan.
It's easy,
a low intensity, steady state.
It's easy, and you'll get results.
You know what the hardest part about walking for me is? I get bored. I get so fucking bored, and then I get a crazy amount of anxiety.
I put my headphones on.
That I should be using this time to do something else. I got my
headphones on while I'm doing it. Well, you got to work. You got to exercise.
I play pickleball. But, I've seen it. I've watched you. I've seen it, Yeah. You watch what you eat and you walk, you stay fucking in shape.
Yeah.
I mean, the walking is a big thing. But I think there's a lot of misinformation where some people think, every day you got to work out for 25, 35, 55 minutes, and then you got to do this, and then you got to do 20 minutes a day. Who doesn't have 20 minutes a day?
You could do like a vigorous and like get on that shit. Don't be like stopping and play on your phone and get something done. You could get a great workout in 20 to 40 minutes easy.
For sure.
Easy.
For sure.
You can do it in 15. You know what I mean? Like there's shit you can do, but you gotta like be ready to put that fucking shit in. You know what I mean? You can't be like it's easy to procrastinate. I know there's been times when I don't have shit to do, but I'm like, I'm going to get this little like home workout in. I'm chilling for the most part, but I'm going to do a little something. There's been times I've waited till like fucking 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, all right, now I got to get
it
started.
in.
Yeah, but it's not. But that's weakness on my part. That's me procrastinating like a motherfucker. I could have done that way earlier felt better earlier. Because after you do it, you get the endorphins. You feel good.
Why do you think we procrastinate?
I think it's because we know it's gonna be a little uncomfortable in the beginning, and we're putting off that little bit of pain. That's why. It's because we're putting it off. We don't want to embrace that yet. We don't want to feel that right away. So we push it off. Let me do this first. You justify it different ways, and you're just fucking spinning your wheels, wasting time. I do this one thing that I read on Instagram. I think it was like Tony Robbins' wife, right? So you could try this when you're being slothful in your bed on fucking Instagram or whatever. And I'll do this sometimes to get up. You give yourself a little countdown. You just go, like you tell yourself, and I'm going to get up when I get to 1. So you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 1 you roll out.
Yeah. You know what I'm the king of?
Let me guess. You're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll that back in there.
I'm the king.
I didn't go. All right, I'll try another 5 in about 5 minutes.
That's it. I'm the king of. Oh, it's 6:24. It's 6:30. I'm getting up. I do something, and then it's 6:32. I'll do it at 6:40.
Yeah,
and then I do.
You're like, 6:40.
If I don't hit the minute, if I don't hit the start time, it's like, all right, I'll get it at the next half hour. Now, my boy, one of my good friends, man, a guy I love to death, Phil Heath, man, he literally lives his life with a timer. Like when he said, and I look, this is his personality. This is a guy that won 7 Mr. Olympias. He has one of the most perfect bodies of all time, and he lives his life with that sort of precision. He's like obsessed with efficiency, I guess what it would say, right? And he has a timer, and he sees how long a task will take the first time he does it, and then he sets a 15-minute timer. Like if it takes me 15 minutes to eat my food, that timer goes off at 15 minutes, and he's on to doing something else. Okay. He's on it, like he lives his life down to that.
Optimizing his efficiency.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's on like an optimization
he's
mission.
On his own time.
Yeah, man. And I mean, he crushes it. And he's doing really well.
Life.
And also it helps with him. He's got an accountability partner. His wife, it's Cherie. Now, they're married now. Congratulations to Mrs. Heath. They're in it together. And that's a really, really important thing. And I think for me personally, where I struggle is I have to get up and go somewhere. I'm not made for working from home. When I get up and I go somewhere else, if I find like a place where I'm like, okay, this is my place,
but
this
to
is
be
where
real,
I work.
it's probably a little bit of a discipline thing.
It's 100% a discipline thing, but to me,
at least you know yourself where you're slacking, so you go and you try and.
I don't know. Maybe somebody out there that's listening to this, hit me up with a comment, shoot me a DM or something like that. Tell me if you feel the same way, or if you tell me why I feel this way. Like,
how about or a way to fix it?
Sure. Anyway, whatever. Just have a conversation with me about it. You've seen me in the gym. I get after it, but I got to go to the gym.
Right.
I'm not doing it at home.
We
have
we
got a gym right in our
doing
condo.
like your work, like writing your jokes or your fucking scripts or whatever.
Yeah, I'll do it, but a lot of times I wait till 1 o'clock in the morning and I stay up till 3 and I do it. And it's like the complete silence allows me to do it. But if I get up and if I go somewhere that I associate with work, I get a lot done.
Okay.
I get 8 hours worth of shit done in 2 hours. But I have to go to that place I associate with work.
Right.
I have to get up and go somewhere else. So like the whole working from home dynamic, both my sisters work from home and they crush it. I don't think I would do anything if I worked from home.
Yeah.
I have to physically get up and go somewhere I associate with work. I associate home with like play and rest and fun. So I'm like, why am I going to do this fucking shit? Let me watch something. Let me go here. Let me go down to the beach, whatever. But if I get up and I go to the place where I work,
let me go be lustful.
Yeah, let me try to get somebody to be lustful. Hey, where you at? I'm feeling lustful. What you doing? Miss you too.
I'm feeling. What's the other one? Where you eat a bunch.
I'm feeling gluttonous.
Gluttonous, damn.
I'm feeling gluttonous for lust.
Let me go check out my refrigerator.
All right, bro.
Let's do a Ruby's Flowers.
Let me ask you this before we do Ruby's Flowers,
and let's talk. Let's talk the Odyssey.
We'll talk the Odyssey in the second half here. I want to talk about the Odyssey, but there's been a lot of discussion. Matt Walsh all over Twitter.
Don't know who that is.
Let me give a clean read here so we can have one fucking good clip. So there's been a lot of discussion online about. You done?
Got you.
Okay. So there's been a lot. Okay.
Go ahead. Actually, you know what? I'll take off. You go ahead. I'll see you in a little bit.
It's a question for you.
Go.
There's been a lot of discussion online. It's been a whole thing for a couple months now. Like, what is a woman? Right? This idea, the transphobia, or they're making this trans or drag thing the new civil rights movement. Wherever you fall on it, it's kind of ridiculous regardless. But one thing that hasn't been discussed is what is a man. So what does a man mean to you? And I'm not talking about from a biological perspective. The people that you've been around incredibly high earning individuals, incredibly, successful people. What do you see in them that makes them men? Like, what is a man to you?
I'd say, I would say someone who, handles their responsibilities, looks out for, their people, takes care of people, isn't like just like a user, is like a provider. Someone who, who has honor and is like virtuous, I mean, there's a lot, you know what I mean? There's a lot to like what makes a man, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like, you kind of know it when you see it too. You know what I mean? I'm assuming you're talking about like a man, like a fucking man.
What makes a man?
Like a grown ass man,
Sure.
like not a fucking like fuckhead or like a boy and shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'd say someone who like, handles their business, looks out for their people, is good to people, builds people up, like, is and like I said, like is virtuous, has honor, gives respect, commands respect, and isn't a piece of shit.
Okay.
Isn't like a little snake,
Interesting.
What do you think?
On my initial thought, I agreed with a lot of what you said. It's somebody that's dutiful, somebody that handles their business, somebody that lifts those up around them, that moves forward, not backwards. But I think I do those things. But sometimes I don't feel like a man. Like, I still feel like a boy. I feel immature. And then I wonder if being a man is really about, household and community. Like,
Well,
can you really be a man if you don't have kids?
That's something I'm gonna exactly what I was gonna say. So I've heard people say that you can't really be a man until you have kids. And I've talked to people about that too, because neither of us have kids, but I absolutely feel like a man.
Even though you look like a boy,
you can get the same thing. Yeah, no, I could I could still probably play a fucking high schooler in a movie. Yo, Hollywood, where you at? But
yo, Rob Rice, what's up with Spring Breakers?
Hey, what up, dog? Yeah, what up, Robbie Weiss? But I think, I've heard, if you have the thing is, when you have a kid, you love something more than you like love yourself. I think if you, as you, childless, love someone more than you love yourself, have someone you'd be willing to die for. I know I would die for my sisters, my family, like, and I have friends who I would do the same thing. I would put my life on the line, if especially like my family, like my little sisters and shit like that. Like, if they were like, hey, one of you's got to go, I'm like, let me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the same thing when you love something more than you like love yourself. That's the same, kind of thing. Obviously, I'm not just saying this by myself. I discussed this with Mike Barwis, who, check out the Mike Barwis episode if you're listening to this. Great episode. He said the same thing. Because I asked about that. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'd heard that. I think Chaz said the thing, but like, you can't be a man until you've had kids.
Yeah. Then
Is that what kind of fucking stuck in your head?
A little bit, yeah. I actually just had heard Jordan Peterson talk about this and talking about toxic masculinity, and they, his thing. Obviously he's going to get political with it, but his thing was the the idea that nobody, no matter how virtuous, no matter how impressive, no matter how intelligent, no matter how accomplished they are, they can't be a man until they've had a family that depends on them. And until they've had to make those decisions for other people instead of themselves. And he went on this whole tirade about, and what are people putting it off for? To have another gallon of beer with your friends? To like, what are you actually giving up? There's this, he's somewhat repulsed about this idea of, oh my God, a family, it takes so much away from you.
You should just start having kids?
Yeah. He's become like, look, he's getting into like this traditionalist, and there's a big movement for like this Christian traditionalism.
So like you just got to pick one and settle down?
Kind of. That's kind of their thing. They're like, hey, pick a good one and raise a family. Like, the promiscuity, and like his thing is that these are all tenets of the immature, and if you're being promiscuous, you can't really be a man. Like now these are things I don't agree with, but I do understand the concept of that kind of being the delineating factor of living for myself is immature. I'm a boy. Living for other people, now that's maturity. I'm a man. I can kind of see that as kind of the dividing line.
I already feel I know, like when I like my fights, it's not just for me. You know what I mean? I know I could do other shit. There's other shit like I could do if I want to, but I'm doing that shit, and that's like I'm doing that for my family. I'm thinking about my family and my friends and my sisters and my friends that are family, my actual family. I'm fighting with all of them, like kind of like behind me and in my head and in my heart. You know what I mean? So
no, I don't know. Why?
Well, because what do you mean why?
Do you think they want you to fight?
Well, they want me to do what I would want, what would make me happy. But I'm saying I'm inspired by that. I'm driven by that. I'm not fighting with just anger that I want to just fuck up my opponent. I'm fighting because I want to make my life and their life better.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you're representing them and your idea.
I'm trying to advance myself in the world through fighting and everything else for them.
Yeah, I had a coach that used to say you get paid by the name on the front of the jersey, but you play for the name on the back of the jersey, and that was pretty powerful cliche he would throw at us. But the idea is, I mean, you're fighting for you though, really, right? I mean, you're fighting for you. You want fame, you want glory, you want that Viking fucking instinct to go make your riches
No, I'm not. No, I'm not just fighting for that. Absolutely not. No.
What would you do if you weren't fighting?
I don't know. I could fucking do anything, bro.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like your family wouldn't feel?
I feel what?
The same pride in you that they feel if you weren't fighting?
I'm not doing it to make them proud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying whatever my objective or purpose is, it's to not just get me to be famous and fucking have money and things. I'm doing that because I want to make all of our lives better.
Do you think if you were, that would be a bad thing? I think
that's the same thing. I don't know. I'm just speaking on me, and that's why I'm telling you that I do think that I'm not just a boy, and I haven't been for a while because of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my answer to that. I'm doing that with everybody at like behind me, for everybody that supports me, that
sure.
That I'm like fucking with.
It can't just be about being tough. It can't just be about being like, I mean,
it's not like
there's
just
child soldiers in
not like
the
I'm just
Sudan,
like a sadist who like I better be able to fuck somebody up today, or I'm not gonna get my fucking blood lust. You know what I mean? It's more than that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Interesting. What do you got? What do you think, Omri? What makes a man?
I would say mostly the things that you said, but I don't think that you need a family to become a man. I don't think that's a mandatory thing. I think that what Mick's saying makes a lot of sense. I also think that in a lot of ways, child soldiers are men because they have to be. They do all those things, right? They have to.
Child soldiers you're talking about?
I think they're kind of they are men. I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that kind of that battle, that warfare, that ability to defend yourself and be willing to cause harm and be able to cause harm makes you a man?
I think it's definitely part of it. I also think it's the ability to put everything aside and just go, this is what I'm doing. This is the only thing I can be doing, and I have to do it to stay alive. It's a self-preservation thing.
Interesting.
Not relying on anyone else.
Interesting. Christian, what do you think a man is? What makes a man?
That's a great question. Yeah. You have to be in the UFC to be a man. So
Gotta be in the UFC.
no,
Only one man here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what. My definition of a man would be somebody that handles their own shit and doesn't second guess themselves, I guess, a lot.
Oh, that's a
Confidence.
sociopath.
Bro,
Confidence,
Is the AC broken in here?
I think it might be.
Yeah.
I have it like all the way down.
All right, I got a piss. You want to do the read?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
Ruby's Flowers is a hemp company, but unlike a lot of hemp companies, they sell high THCA hemp flower that gets you high just like a certain other funny smelling plant. Their flower has been bred to have high THCA, which is converted into Delta-9 THC when smoked, allowing their customers to enjoy a federally legal high from smoking naturally grown legal hemp. No sprays or additives are applied. High THCA hemp flower is the solution for smokers who don't live in a legal state or are simply just tired of getting ripped off by the large marijuana monopolies and excessive government taxes. Ruby's Flowers gives you the freedom to get high by smoking the natural cannabis plant the way you want, legally and for an affordable price. Right now, you can get eighths of high THCA flower strains like Gorilla Glue and Granddaddy Perp sent to your mailbox for $35 on their website or only $25 on the Patreon with taxes and shipping included. Visit rubiesflowerswi.com. That's rubySflowerswi.com. Check out their high THCA hemp flower and other THC products. You can find a link to their Patreon on their website where you can subscribe to the high-quality THC products at unheard of prices. Ruby's Flowers will not show up in the Patreon search bar as their products are for those 18 and older. Again, that is high THCA hemp flower is legal under the 2008 Farm Bill. I got to read this part? All right. Yeah, I do. Fix that too, please. Sorry, bro. All right. High THCA hemp flower is legal under the 2018 Farm Bill because it contains less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC. However, laws are always changing, so please read up on the local as well as the state laws before purchasing, and please read the entire product description on our website before purchasing. rubiesflowerswi.com. Go get you some.
So we did the Iliad last Monday.
Yes, the Trojan War.
And now before Barbas gets here, let's finish the second
You want to get into it?
of Homer's
So
epics.
when we ended, and Omri, there might have been some questions you're supposed to save from that day. You were saying like that these weren't written by Homer. Homer was blind. I don't think he could really write. And if he would, he'd be like writing off the page and writing on top of his own words and stuff. So I'm sure if he like recited these, like he was probably like an orator, like a poet.
Yes.
And then people finally copied these down and maybe added their own little things.
Remember like telegrams back in the day? Like,
No, I'm very young.
Please send help. Stop. Need help now. Stop. Money good.
Message in the
Stop.
bottle.
Written, read but not written. Read but not dictated. Dictated but not read.
Message in the bottle.
The police.
Yeah, what happened with it, Homer didn't, he just codified it. What happened was
He codified it?
he codified it because
Isn't that when you set something on fire? What is that when you like if you burn a wound?
Cauterizing.
Cauterize. And what did Homer do?
Codified.
Codified.
He,
versus
codified.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
What
what
does that
happened
mean?
was
What does codified mean?
about 500
What
years
does codified mean? What does that word mean?
it means that he took a lot of stories and put them together.
Okay.
That means that it was like an oral tradition for a few hundred years passed down from bard to bard, and then they rediscovered writing around Homer's time, and he was probably the best bard, so they took his lectures or performances to write it down, and that's what we have today. That's why it's listed under his name.
Okay. All right. It's supposed to be. They say it's a poem. That's a long poem, like 24 books.
I feel like Shakespeare was poems too,
iambic
right?
pentameter.
Right, but like I feel like like poems are just stories back then. Like a poem we think of like has rhymes and is like, you know what I mean?
Well, now
575 or like they have like stupid not standards, but like
do you think
brackets they have to be in.
Do you think they were battle rapping at each other these stories back in the day? Like our poets today are battle rappers.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't.
You think Homer was up there like, yo, what's my guy? Yeah, it's like you don't want to see my dude Odysseus. He got that gat, son. Like he's out there just like graffiti bubble letters. The whole
you
night.
Can't see me, and I can't see you.
Yeah, we need that. That's they got that thing. Epic rap battles. We need an epic rap battle. Agamemnon versus Priam.
All right. So, is there anything? Because we're going to pick up from the end of the Trojan War. That's when the Odyssey starts.
So, for the people that missed last Monday,
watch it.
We go back and watch it. But if you haven't seen it, Mick went over how the main players of the Trojan War, which was Helen of Troy, who was stolen away by Paris. The original fuckboy Paris came over to a party thrown by Menelaus.
He's a little bitch-ass Paris.
Menelaus throws a party. He's like, yo, this is my wife, Helen. She's a beauty. She's going to hold it down while I go, do my business real quick. Paris robbed the house, took his woman, fucked his girl in some Gucci flip-flops, went back to Troy.
Took her ass back, robbed his treasures, the treasury.
Yeah. Menelaus is like, oh, no.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, no. Calls up his bro. He goes, Agamemnon, what's happening? I need your help.
We're going to Troy.
I need your help.
Get the boys.
You can't ask me why. And
get Achilles.
We're going to hurt somebody.
Get Achilles.
Agamemnon says, whose
get
call
Ajax,
we taking?
the lesser, the greater.
That's right.
Get Odysseus.
That's right.
Get the crew. Get the boys.
Yep.
We're rolling deep.
He assembles the Greek Avengers, and they head out to Troy.
Eventually, they kill Hector. They kill Paris.
Yes.
A bunch of them die.
Yep.
And then they go and Odysseus sets up the Trojan horse.
That's right.
They get in there. They with Odysseus's trickery.
That's
they get in there. They win the war.
The same way the communists are going to beat us here in America.
And then some of the Trojans flee, but they're lost.
And the city is lost forever. They burnt that sucker to the ground.
And then now the Odyssey starts.
Everybody goes home after 10 years of warfare.
10 years of war.
Over this fuckboy Paris coming and grabbing that hua Helen. Now everybody finally gets to go home to their family. The rich have had their battle
And Odysseus didn't even want to go, but now he just can't wait to get home to his family. But little does he know, it's going to take him another 10 years to get back. He's been gone for 20 years by the time this story ends.
And he's the only one who makes it. Spoiler alert.
Of what? Of his group.
His men's don't make it
right.
back.
Right. That was Poseidon. They made that a
Davy Jones Laka.
Yeah. They had a lot of issues along the way, but first on their way. So, Omri, anything to talk about before we wrap up Troy?
There is one question from last week, and that is, who do you think would get the golden apple today? Who do you think the hottest lady is? And then a follow-up for G, and that one's from me. That one's for me is, do you think it's young Jamie Presley or is it Margot Robbie?
Our boy Ethan Suplee has to come in and talk on this, because if anybody knows, he's seen them both in their prime. Ethan,
right?
We need to have a discussion on this.
I'll hit him up today. We'll try and maybe get him on this week if he's in town.
Cool.
So who you giving the golden apple to?
Oh man, that's a great question. Who is hot enough, yet also not annoying enough to be justifiably worth 10 years of carnage?
You You're just chucking that apple in between Jamie Presley and Margot Robbie, whoever comes up with it.
I think I'm going.
What do you throw the Kardashians in there?
Oh man, I don't know if there's like anybody really alive.
Someone needs to
today.
represent the
Maybe like
darker
a
complexion.
Yeah,
girls.
like a young Sofia Vergara. Is there like a 20-year-old Sofia Vergara I'm unaware of out there? Is there like a 22-year-old Sofia Vergara?
I don't know, bro.
Sophia, what is she, like 50 something now? She looks unreal.
Yeah.
She's unreal.
I don't know. That's a good question. We might need to circle back to that one because
Who gets the
that's
apple?
That's hard to pick.
Yeah, there's no real like knockdown, drag them out, number one in the world, absolute
man, 'cause
superstars
there's always like
right
tastes, you know what I mean? And like, this
Maybe.
it could be this, it could be that.
now. There was like 5 years where everybody
Some days you
knew-
want vanilla, some days you want salted caramel, sometimes you want a little chocolate, you know what I mean?
Wait, so, all right.
So, I mean, you might be tossing an apple different places, different days.
Who is worth...
I also heard someone say that the golden apple was probably just an orange. Actually, the reason why I wanted to talk about this stuff was my favorite part of like school was I had this Latin teacher. I took Latin in school, and this Latin teacher, she was kind of like a nerd, but she was like one of those people who bragged about not having a TV. But one week, she just told the story of the Iliad, the Trojan War, and it was the most interested I'd ever been in like a class subject. So
Interesting.
shout out to her nerdy ass.
What's her name?
I have no idea.
Man.
Out of my Dunbar's number, bro.
Brutal.
Out of my Dunbar number.
Brutal.
It's okay. But yeah, it was super interesting. I really dug it. But so I wanted to be able to share that with you guys. So all right.
So I have a very similar story, and her name was Miss Monona, and
Monona Ryder.
Miss Monona, and she was her and Mr. Celentano. They would like get dressed up.
Old sticky fingers, Monona Ryder.
Miss Monona, I don't know her first name. I know Celentano was Rocco Celentano. He's a principal now, and like he would get dressed up like in a toga to teach about Rome and stuff. And,
Okay.
like, yeah, he was super into it, man. He was great. And Miss Monona made us do a book report that wasn't on paper.
Relax, dude.
What?
Relax with your toga.
Well, no way. Rocco Celentano?
This isn't a
No, he's the man.
frat party.
No, man. Rocco Celentano, he brought history to life. I wish more teachers were like him, man. And Miss Monona. So anyway, long story short, we filmed.
Sounds like the David Goggins of history teachers.
We filmed a Royal Rumble based on Beowulf, and she's still like on VHS. It's probably out there somewhere. She like showed it for years after, and like embarrassed the hell out of my sisters when they were in that AP English class. That me and my friends put together this battle royale based on Beowulf, and
There's a little humble brag right there. AP English class.
oh God, if you've been listening to this thick and thick, you come on, you already.
Hey, I was in G&T, bro.
Yeah, I'm just taking a note to find that video for the podcast. But sure.
Miss Monona, cogito ergo sum, dude.
G&T stands for gifted and talented.
Is that cogito ergo sum? I think therefore I am, Mr. Latin over there.
There you go.
I think if we had to go with any woman on earth to get the Helen of Troy nod right now, let's use our critical thinking on this, Mick. They'd have to be between 25 and 30, yeah?
Yeah. Well, sure.
Sure. We're going to want to keep them natural. We're not looking...
That was funny. So I always say, like, I liked King of Queens more than, like, Seinfeld. Shit like that. And I remember, so Doug and Carrie are doing, like a thing where they're, like, talking about, like, a hall pass.
Yeah.
And Carrie's like,
I love this episode.
Carrie's like, all right, like Brad Pitt, and Doug's like, okay. He's like, okay, fine, that's cool, Carrie. And she's like, okay, like Doug, like who's yours? And he's like, the girl who does your nails.
Yeah, Ming, who does your nails. What? That's
very possible.
Yeah, that can't be your hall
he's
pass.
He's very within the realm of possibility.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. Yeah. The girl who was my checkout girl.
I'll say the girl who does your nails.
Yeah, the girl who was my checkout girl at Publix yesterday. That's who I'd give the golden apple to.
She loves staff.
I love staff. I love
She
a working
loves
girl.
Staff.
I don't know. Let's circle back. Let's circle back. That's a great question.
All right, let's get the story going. So, the Greeks, they win the Trojan War. All right, and now it's time for them to get back home. They're done. They're ready to get back home. And
who's the big winner?
Set out,
Is it Agamemnon? Is he the big winner there?
Menelaus gets his chick back
Mm-hmm.
after she's been used.
Yep.
Agamemnon ends up getting killed.
By his wife.
Yeah.
For bringing
allegedly, yeah.
Hector's.
There's also another
sister
story
back.
where he got killed by someone who tried to marry his wife. Right? There's like multiple stories here where he also might have got killed by someone who tried to marry his wife, and then he was avenged by his own son, who then killed the guy who killed his dad. So I'm not sure.
Well, these guys were away for 10 years. There's going to be and they left
that's a big thing with this one.
Yeah.
So he's been gone in Ithaca. That's where Odysseus is from. His kingdom is full of suitors wanting to take his wife Penelope.
Yeah.
And his son, whose name is maybe Telemachus, something like that, he's there like, yo, get out of here. Get out of my pop's land. You trying to fuck my mom? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what do you guys think you're doing? Like, eating all our damn food, sleeping around here, trying to seduce my mom and shit?
Good man.
And they planned to kill Telemachus. They were like, let's get the fucking little, let's get this stepson out of here. He's he's a little cockblock, this asshole.
He is.
So they were planning to get him out of there. And did they succeed? You'll find out later. But so it's not that far of a trip from Troy back to Ithaca. But on his way down, big storms happen. Actually, they stop one place, and it ends up they get supplies, and it ends up being an ally to Troy. So now they're fighting these dudes. They grab some shit. They're like, fuck this. They hit the road. They get on the boat. They're not that far from Ithaca, and then a big storm blows them all the way across the water. So now they're way over here. And they're like, shit. And the reason is Poseidon says he says the fate is that everybody you're with is gonna die, Odysseus. All right, like I'm gonna fuck y'all up.
And this was
Poseidon's mad.
Yeah, he's mad because Troy was his city, and also they used the Trojan horse.
He built the walls and stuff like that. And then Odysseus just digs himself deeper and deeper with Poseidon along this. So after they get to that place, they get blown all the way across. And they end up at this place of the lotus eaters. So the lotus is this fruit from the lotus tree that when men eat it, they fall asleep, and they love it. All they want to do is just stay on the land forever. Yeah, they love it. They want to stay here.
The original oxy.
It's like heroin, right? Yeah. They're like, I feel so good. Like they're on the ground, just laying in the grass. Like they're on, you know what I mean? Just like, let's stay here forever, dudes. And Odysseus is like, no, we got to get back to Penelope and my son. I love them. It's been too long. And he picks up his men, throws them on the ship. They get out of there. Yeah. And next, now they don't have that much supplies. They got blown all the way across the water.
And they're withdrawing from opium.
Right. So we got an unhappy crew here. Yeah. We got an unhappy crew here.
Ripe.
And they see this little cave. And inside this cave, there's meats and cheeses and a bunch of like good food. They start eating. All of a sudden, Cyclops rolls in. Cyclops, son of Poseidon.
Really?
He runs in, he grabs a couple men and starts eating them. Yeah. He starts eating them.
Big mother sucker Cyclops.
Eating you and eating you and eating you. He's just eating these dudes, all right? So they're like, shit, this is a problem.
How would Cyclops have done in the UFC?
Now, what Cyclops, well, he wouldn't have made weight. But what Cyclops does, because Cyclops is huge. He's giant. He's a
massive,
giant.
Huge.
He rolls, he has this big stone that he rolls in front of the cave. So they're all trapped.
That's right.
And they don't want to fuck with them. But Odysseus
they took it from Star Wars took it directly from the Odyssey with Luke Skywalker with the Rancor. It's taken directly from Cyclops. Anyway, go.
Yeah, I'm not a nerd. I don't know about that, but so I just know about this nerdy shit.
You're not a nerd, Mickey. Just go back to reciting an old ancient poem from Greece, and we can be good.
Yeah. So
he likes the originals.
Yeah. So
Cyclops.
Cyclops. He's chomped some men. He's like, you guys are my prisoners. Mm-hmm. What? Do something. Try and move that rock. You can't. Right? So Odysseus has this very, very dark wine. Like, it's very, very alcoholic. So he's like, here, Cyclops, have some of this wine. Have as much as you want.
A constant theme of Odysseus, Ulysses, whoever you want, is trickery.
Oh, he's like the wisest. He's very wise, very cunning. Yeah, yes. Jinx. So he gives him this wine. He gets he's getting pretty drunk, and he lays down. And he goes, what is your name? I'd like to thank you for this wine. And Odysseus says, my name is Nobody. He's like, well, thank you, nobody. This is awesome. So he lays down, takes a nice slumber. Odysseus sharpens a spike, stabs it right in his Cyclops eye.
Bang.
Bang, stabs it.
Yeah.
The Cyclops is screaming.
Try to see it now.
He's
You one-eyed motherfucker.
He's going nuts. He's going nuts.
Yeah.
And the other Cyclops here, and they go, what's happening to you? Who's killing you? And he goes, nobody. Nobody's killing me. They're like, what? Like, who's killing you? He said, nobody. Who hurt you? Nobody. Nobody is
Who's
killing
on
me.
first?
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
on second?
Right? So eventually, he's there blinded now in his one Cyclops eye.
Yep. So there's multiple Cyclops. There's
There's Cyclops all over around this island.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, multiple Cyclopses. Cyclopsi?
Cyclopsy? Yeah,
something like
Cyclope.
that. So now, every day he opens the rock. Like, he moves the rock.
Yes.
And because he has sheep. And he feels the top of the sheep and makes sure no man tries to sneak out. He has to let his sheep out, but he can't let any man out. So one day they tie themselves under, which I feel like you'd feel the rope on top if you're tying, but maybe let's just say they're just hanging from some udders, some sheep udders or something.
Yeah.
Right?
These normal sized sheep? Yeah, he's got a big time core.
You know what I mean? They're just going to hang at the bottom, and the sheep walk out, and that's how they escape. And as he's leaving, Odysseus gets a little cocky. He's like, Odysseus did this to you, bitch. He's like, I ain't nobody. I'm Odysseus the Great. Right?
At the end of the day, he was still a Greek.
Yeah.
Malaka. Till the end.
Yes, and Cyclops tells his father Poseidon, this dude Odysseus did this shit to me.
Wow.
Like, he blinded me. Like, get him, Pops. So Poseidon's wrath just grows for Odysseus.
What do you think the Cyclops women look like? Baddies
They didn't
or what?
mention them.
No?
I don't know. I don't know.
Huh.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
No?
Nah.
you-
My guess, but whatever. The next place to end up on is there's this guy King Aeolus, right? And he sympathizes with them. He fucks with Odysseus heavy, and he gives him a bag of wind.
Bag of wind.
A bag of wind,
A jar of farts.
basically. Gives him a big bag of wind,
Yep.
which will help him sail. They're gonna get back now quick,
Sure.
right? They just hold the wind in the other direction. Whew! They're gonna shoot out
Totally.
shot out of a cannon.
That's how wind works.
Right? Don't ask me the specifics because this is Homer. Talk to Homer, bro.
Talk to Homer.
Talk to Homer. But so it'll help him sail faster. But Odysseus' men are skeptical. They're like, that's a bag.
This would be a badass video game. Somebody should make this into a video
He's like,
game.
hey yo, they're men. He's like, hey, I bet that's a bag of gold. Let's chop that thing open and see what happens. So they chop the bag open as they're sailing beautifully. Woo! They start going crazy, all out of control. End up back on Aeolus' island.
Oh.
And he's like, man, I just gave you guys a bag of wind. Why are you back here? You must not be in favor of the gods. I'm not helping you guys anymore. I don't want the gods mad at me. Mm-hmm. So now they're back on their own with no bag of wind, having to sail themselves.
Yeah. Get
right.
rowing, motherfuckers.
Exactly, bro. Now they end up on the land of Lastrygonians. All right, which is more. Now there's giants, just straight,
That's
even bigger than Cyclops, but like a whole bunch of them. He only had to deal with one Cyclops before.
Yeah.
Now they're dealing with a bunch of these giants who are cannibals.
That's the cannibals. Okay.
Yes, so
Got it.
they're seeing men grabbing. They're hopping in the water. They're trying to get the heck out of there.
Yep.
Right, but they can just go and grab a boat.
Yeah.
Like the water comes up to their waist. This the deep water, So then they're breaking the ships. They're throwing rocks at him. They annihilate his crew. There's only one boat remaining at this point. And that's Odysseus with his dudes. All right?
So he had like an armada. He had 10 ships, 100 men a ship. He had 1,000 men. He went to Troy with. However many were lost in battle, however many were lost in war. Let's say he's coming back with 800 men. Now he's down to his last 100 men.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So now he ends up on the island of Circe.
Yep.
Circe was a daughter of the sun god Helios.
Is this the Sirens?
Not yet.
Okay.
So Circe, she had magic. She was like a demigod. She had all these wolves and lions around her that were just docile, just like under her command, like pets, right? Like these vicious animals, but they were just like her, her little pumpkins. She offered Odysseus' men food and drink, and when they ate, they all turned into pigs.
Oh.
One guy wasn't hungry, and he saw this, runs back to Odysseus, says what's going on, and Odysseus starts talking to Hermes, another god. Hermes gives him Molly. Molly. And I'm guessing this is where the name of the drug came from. Because that Hermes said, sprinkle this in the cup before you eat or drink anything from Cersei, and you'll be okay. So he's eating and drinking her stuff, and he's put a little Molly in the cup. Straight up, I'm telling you. And he's fine. He's not turning into a pig. She's so impressed. She falls in love with him.
He loves it there.
Yeah. So he's like, this
place is awesome.
So it made him invincible to the magic, and she's so impressed. She falls in love with him, and she kept him there for a year, and they had a kid together.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Didn't miss his wife that bad. I mean, in fairness, was 15 years at this point.
Yes, it's been a minute. I think it's been about probably about 11 or 12 years. He's probably been out there, right? Because there's another big chunk that comes afterwards. So eventually, he's like, "Look, I got to get back to my family." She's like, "All right, I'm gonna do you a favor though. Since you fucked me so good, I'm gonna take care of you. You go to the underworld because you need to get some advice." All right? They're going to help you get your way back. So he goes to the underworld, had to do a sacrifice to enter. I don't know what that was.
Probably
maybe
one of the pig men.
Kill a man or a pig man.
Yep.
And he was told, one thing he was told, that he's going to end up on Helios' island, the sun god, but do not eat his cattle. He's got a bunch of cows out there. They might look appetizing. Mm-hmm. Do not eat them. Mm-hmm. He remembers this, tells his men, cool. Now,
all I want to do now is eat.
All you want to do, right? Right as you're told, don't do something. It's like, yeah. He's like, feel like I want it now.
Kind of really want. What's with that cattle? Need to know.
Like, no, it's delicious. I feel like I want it.
I feel like I want to eat that cattle.
So now he goes. Now he's gonna. Here's the part you like. Yeah, we're gonna get that after, right?
Totally. All right, I was hoping so.
Yeah, me too. I've been thinking about it all day. Yeah, we're gonna hit that shit. So now they pass the sirens. And
yes.
The sirens. Tell the people what a siren is, G.
So the siren is these supposedly beautiful women who have they sing the song, and it's the most beautiful song you've ever heard, and it attracts people into the shore. And what I love about the siren story, into the water, but closer to their island.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is this is across multiple different cultures, and some people theorize that it could be a manatee, it could be a dolphin, and guys who are out at sea were drinking seawater and saw like naked women under the ocean, and they'd be like, we gotta follow.
They wanted to fuck those blowholes?
They wanted to fuck those blowholes. They were like, yo, there's some titties in the water. This is where like mermaids come from, and they would direct their ship like into reefs, and they would run aground, chasing after
they could have actually been sirens, these beautiful ladies who sung songs. And there could be some sirens out there today, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful.
That's right. But instead of singing songs, they twerk and stick their tongue out.
Exactly.
Either way, they will imprison you for life.
Well, here's why there might not be sirens anymore. They're
very ugly in person, as it turns out, right?
I don't know. I thought they were beautiful.
I thought they sound beautiful.
I thought they were beautiful, but they're deadly. They kill you. Like you die. You die when you go to, because Odysseus again, the cunning wise man.
Just listening to them, you never want to stop listening to them, right? You like sit there and you waste away.
I thought you jump into the water and you start trying to like get after them and you drown or something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, Odysseus is aware of this. The cunning guy. He tells all his men before we get there, everyone's putting wax in your ears. So he's like melting down this big ball of wax. Everyone's clogging their ears, but he's like, you're tying me to the mast. And I need to hear this song, but I don't want. I gotta know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be, overcome by them. So I'm gonna be tied to the mast. Mm-hmm. So he goes by and he's hearing the songs and he's like, "Get me out of here! No, let me out! Let me out! I changed my mind. Undo this!" And they can't hear because they got the wax in their ears. Yeah, they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Let me out!" And it's not happening. So he gets by it, and the sirens are destined that if any mortal heard their song and survived, they die. They kill themselves.
Really?
They kill themselves. So all the sirens killed themselves, and that's why there may not be sirens anymore.
Odysseus,
the downfall of the sirens.
Kind of a serious pimp move, bro. If
some player shit.
A girl is that thirsty for your attention and doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Wow. Normally they just fuck your friend.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. This one they took their own lives.
What do you think they sounded like?
something like that, probably.
You think it was Cardi B? Can you imagine if it was Cardi B and it's just she's just up there singing up, and then you don't bop to it, and she's just like, "Fuck this."
Cardi B looked. The first time I thought Cardi B actually looked hot was in that song with Blueface. Tatiana, Buzz Down, Tatiana. Yeah, she looked good in that video.
That song that girls sing at like karaoke is the most
funny,
unintentionally hilarious song.
Tatiana?
No, what's the one where she's like trying to be serious about like
oh yeah.
It's the most unintentionally hilarious song.
Be careful with me. My heart is like a fragile little my heart is like a package with a fragile label on it. Be careful with me. Yeah. Cardi.
Yeah. You was out there doing you. You don't think I could have sucked your man off and then came home to you too? You fucked up, boo.
Hey, there he is. Hey, Mike Barwis, he's here.
So,
all right.
We got past the sirens.
We might have to put a pause in this story and do a part 2. All right, you ready for part 2, the Odyssey G?
Part 2.
Ready?
The Odyssey.
So far, they've just heard all about Odysseus and his wild travels. And here we go with part 2. So now he's going through this narrow strait, right? And on one side of the strait, he has Scylla, which is a 6-headed monster beast, right? And on the other side, he has Capturus, which is a whirlpool, right? That kind of does as it sounds. It's going to capture the fucking ship, and the whole ship's going to go down. And he has to decide. Do I go near the fucking Capturus, where this is the whirlpool I'm going to get, almost like quicksand in the water? Or do I go towards Scylla? What do you think he chooses?
Scylla.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right? You got to go to Scylla, even though you know Scylla's going to fuck up some of your crew.
Can't get out of the whirlpool.
So that six-headed monster, he goes by Scylla. 6-headed monster comes down and chomps his men. Eats them, they're screaming, they're getting eaten in a very painful way.
I would have rathered the whirlpool.
Yeah, but he's like, I can't, the whole ship's not going down, bro. I got sacrificed. If you got to crack a couple eggs to make an omelet.
I hear that.
So he goes through, he chooses Scylla, and he keeps going. And now, because it's an obvious choice. Sacrifice some, the whole ship's going down the other way. So now, I think we've talked about it before. We've talked about Helios and his cattle on this island, right? Helios, the sun god. So now he was told when Circe told him to go to Hades, they warned him like, yo, whatever you do, don't eat these cattle. So he tells everyone, tells all his men, don't eat the cattle.
Even the Greek gods were vegan back then.
Yeah, bro. It's, you know what I mean? For whatever reason, Helio loved these. He was like maybe like Hindu or something.
Hindu.
And he loved.
How about that?
Hindu? I don't know, man. He loved these cattle.
Eat the shit out of those chickens.
Yeah, fuck them chickens.
But
Those
not the cattle.
Little feathery dinosaur mean motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
But the sweet cows, he loves them and don't fuck with them. But, times were hard. There was no food. These guys are getting hungry, starving. And they were like...
They've already been gone for how long now?
Like, I don't know, 10-something years.
Wow.
Right? Mm-hmm. Well, they were gone for 10 years, and they're traveling back for 10 years still.
Already?
Yeah. It's a lot. So, now what they say is one of the guys in the crew is like, yo, listen, I would rather get hit by a lightning bolt by Zeus with a full belly than fucking die of starvation out here. Right?
Kind of feel like I get that guy.
That's what he's saying.
Kind of feel like
I thought you would.
I get it. But
I'd be like, bro, I'm Odysseus. Listen to me.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
What was that you were
want
saying?
Ribs? Yeah. So when Odysseus is like sleeping or something, these dudes cut down every fucking cow on this island and have like a feast. Like,
if it's
like,
gonna be
fuck
one,
it, we're going out. You know what I mean? We're going out big. So they eat all these things. Odysseus is like, fuck. These cocksuckers, man. Mm-hmm. They don't listen to me. Mm-hmm. But then suddenly, the weather clears up.
Hey.
Let's get on the ship,
Hey.
So now Helio goes to Zeus, and he's like, yo, these fucking guys ate my cattle. I don't like that.
Not a
Zeus is like, you know what? I don't like it either. Boom! Sends a big thunderbolt. Kills everybody on that ship.
Everybody.
but Odysseus.
Wow.
Odysseus is still alive. The prophecy, Poseidon's prophecy came true. He said, you do this journey like you're the only one surviving. All your men are gone. And now all his men are gone. So he's out there in the water, bopping around, drifting around for 9 days.
Yeah.
Odysseus not having a good. He you know what I mean?
You can't hold the sails and
No. He's floating around the water, just trying to hold on to shit, and you know what I mean. The ship's gone. It's
Oh,
destroyed by
so the lightning probably got rid of the wooden ship.
Yes, the Thunderbolt,
The Thunderbolt
which thunder, sound, lightning things, bolts of lightning.
hit him with like a
I guess
sonic
it's
boom.
like a special Zeus fucking power.
Sonic boom. Sonic boom.
Yeah, sonic boom, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the ship's gone, and now he's floating around for 9 days, and then on that 10th day, he lands at an island.
Oh, here we go again.
Here we go again.
A lot of islands
Now
in
on
the
this
Mediterranean.
island, there is a lady who is a demigod. Her name is Calypso. She is the daughter.
I like to dance calypso.
You like to dance Calypso?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Odysseus ends up dancing with Calypso, even though he don't really want to. Calypso falls in love with him, and again, I said she's Atlas's daughter. You know, the big guy holding the fucking world up,
yeah.
right? She says, "Look, I love you. I want you to stay here with me forever.
Yep.
I will make you immortal, and we will just stay here forever and just have like the best life together." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Man, I got to get back to my Penelope and my son Telemachus."
Damn good deal.
You know what I mean? Well, she becomes very insulted that he turns down her damn good deal.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's the daughter of Atlas, and she's very obviously a thick chick.
I don't know. I feel like Calypso's kind of a baddie. Anyway,
Definitely
look up
not a
Calypso.
baddie.
You don't
No
think
way.
so?
Nope.
I feel well, anyway, he gets stuck there. She keeps him captive for 7 years and makes him fuck her like every night. And
Thick
he's
chick.
in her.
Confirmed.
You're so fat phobic, G. And then he, he every night he goes out on the beach and cries.
Thick chick, twice confirmed.
He hates it, huh?
He hates it.
Yeah. So eventually Athena.
Odysseus is white. Confirmed.
Athena, who's had his back, she gets Zeus to get Calypso to let him free. Mm-hmm. She helps him. She makes a little boat, and sets him free. Right.
Nice.
So, again, Poseidon decides to wreck him.
Yeah. It's not enough.
No,
not been enough.
Poseidon is not happy with him. I don't know why he doesn't just drag him down or whatever. Like he just wants to.
He's
keep
having too much
torturing him.
fun up there.
Yeah, he's fucking him up. So Poseidon fucks him up again, wrecks him, winds up so he's there drifting around, winds up on these shores, lost his clothes, he's naked.
His pelvis is dust.
He's laying on the floor. Yeah, right. He's been having to lay pipe for the past 7 years.
7 years he was with Calypso?
7 years. That's what I said, bro. She kept him
So the Odyssey is
years.
really like 3 years, and then he's a sex slave for 7.
Yeah.
Wild.
Right. Yeah. I misspoke the last part. Yeah. So it was 3 years, and now it's 7.
Wow.
He spent 7 years up in Calypso, and then
She never got pregnant.
no, but he did. I think he knocked up Circe.
Yeah.
Right.
So Odysseus is piping Calypso for 7 years.
Yeah, she made him.
All-time pull-out game champion right there.
I guess.
Like all-time pull-out game champion.
Yeah.
And yeah, you think she was good-looking. And this dude...
How's he getting it up for her all the time?
well,
She's using magic?
For 7 years? Is he? 7 years.
I think so.
He's piping this girl. That's his literal occupation, is piping this chick for 7 years.
Yeah.
She's either...
He's a demigod.
Or, yeah, dude, are demigods barren?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so
I
either.
would say not.
Odysseus,
All right,
all-time pull-out game
She
champion.
could have been. She could have been barren. You never know. She could have been a particular case. It happens.
Pull-out game champion.
Well, he winds up on this island, and the daughter of the king and queen is out there with like her little like handmaids and her friends out there on the shores hanging out.
What's up, babes?
And no, he ain't like sup, babes. He's like he's fucked up. He's naked.
It's been 10 years.
He's all shriveled up. He just been getting his ass kicked by the water in Poseidon.
Yep.
Now he's on the shores.
Yep.
And all the fucking people see the naked man and they run away, except for the daughter. She fought the streets. She sees him and she gives him like
that's that pull-out game champion right there.
yeah. something like that. So she goes and helps him, and she's like, come and join us for dinner, but you can't like come back with me. Like you go do your own thing. Meet me here. I'm gonna go over here back with my people, and because she's a maiden. All right, so she is actually virtuous. So they go. He meets him for dinner. They're having a nice feast. And there's this great poet who's like singing songs and telling stories. And he starts telling the story of the Trojan War, the Iliad. And he's talking about, this great warrior, Achilles and Ajax and Agamemnon and, Paris and Hector. And the wisest, smartest, most magnificent Greek, Odysseus, and with his cunning plan of making the Trojan horse.
Wow.
And they're all when they say Odysseus, everybody there starts clapping. They fucking love Odysseus. And he
from a town known as Oyster Bay, Long Island, rode a boy with a 6-gun in his hand, boom, boom, boom. And his age and his size made him a legend.
You fucked it up.
East and west of Agamemnon.
Rio Grande. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Hell yeah. We got to rewrite that shit for Odysseus. It's badass.
And he never traveled heavy.
Yes, he always rode alone.
And he soon put many old guns to shame. See why I just song right and I don't sing?
That's right.
I just write the song.
Nailed it, though.
You know what I mean? Anyway.
And he never had a sweetheart, but he always had a home.
Never had a home.
Nenever had a home.
No, Billy the Kid never had a home.
That's right.
Billy the Kid by Billy Joel, y'all.
Yeah.
It's a fucking banger. So he wouldn't tell them that he was Odysseus because he was afraid of Poseidon's wrath and all that stuff. He's like, I'm not saying who I am. Like, that's only going to cause trouble.
You win, bro. You win.
But at this point, when he sees how happy what he does, he starts crying. Right? Because he's hearing the tales and remembering all his lost friends and all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
He starts crying.
It's kind of like going to your own funeral, man.
And the king's like, hey, man, what'd you say your name was again?
Hey, you with the broken pelvis.
Why are you so moved by this story, sir? And he starts asking, and eventually he says, I'm Odysseus. And they were like, we are so honored to have this great man in our presence.
They believed him?
They believed him.
Wow.
They believed him. So they give him a ship. They give him gold. They give him silver. And he sails back. And finally...
He's not thinking it's a trick at this point?
They fucking loved him. They didn't know who he was.
I would be so afraid to get on that boat.
They didn't know who he was. They were all clapping and applauding him.
Bro, if I was Odysseus at this point, I would... Well, it was an island, so you can't. I would have, walked around the Mediterranean at this point. What's huffed it?
Well, anyway, he gets back to Ithaca.
But
Ithaca is not such a great place to be Odysseus right now. Remember, his wife, Penelope...
20 years.
They've been trying to, basically take his throne. They've been trying to usurp him. They thought he was dead. His wife, Penelope, held out hope that he would return. She's a real one.
20 years is like half your life back in ancient Greece.
At least.
Yeah.
Right? So there's like 100, over 100.
Penelope is a real one. She waited.
She waited. So she's actually, she told everyone, she said, when I'm done building this, what is that thing called? Like a funeral, she's weaving.
A wreath?
Nah,
a pyre?
Shit.
A funeral pyre? Funeral wreath?
Nah, I know the word, but I'm drawing a fucking blank right now.
A pusillanimous?
Basket?
Nah, she's weaving like a burial shroud.
A burial shroud. Hilarious if it would have been basket, though.
Take some of that shit. Yeah, edit some of that shit out. So she's making this fucking burial shroud for Odysseus' father, who isn't dead yet, but is very old and is about to die.
Okay.
And she says, when I'm done with the burial shroud, I will pick a new suitor. All right, I'll pick one of you guys. But every day she's seen, sewing it, crocheting it, whatever the hell she's doing. And every night she takes it apart. She takes apart the work she did.
Good woman.
So every day. So that went on for 3 years. And then eventually they were like, hey, They don't take that long, girl. Like, come on, what's
Hey,
going
we've
on
been
here?
waiting 19
We know you're
years
doing
over here.
Something that she's like, okay, got me. I'm sorry. You're right. So now
Who are
she's,
these guys that have been hanging out for 19 years
well,
waiting for the chick?
There's a bunch of dudes, and there's this one guy who his name's like something. I feel like something with a D. It's like Damascus or Demigorgon or dumbass bully man.
Yeah.
Smiths.
Dylan. It's probably a Dylan.
So it's definitely not Dylan.
Dylan.
It's some fucking Greek name. So
Dillonius.
he's like a prick, but kind of like the leader of the guys.
Yeah, king of the pricks.
Yeah, King Prick, King Dingaling, and like I said, when Odysseus gets back, it's not hospitable territory for him right now. Even though he's a king returning, like these guys, they find him, they're trying to kill his son. His son had to go and kind of escape because they were like, hey, let's get rid of fucking little cockblock's stepson. So Odysseus links up with his friend, but no, Athena first disguises him as like an old beggar. Right. So he doesn't look like Odysseus. He looks like this old beggar. He goes and he sees his one friend, one of his like trusted servant friends, and somehow he reveals that he actually is Odysseus, and he's back, and I need to take my throne back, but obviously it's not hospitable territory right now. So one day now, Telemachus, his son, is coming back, and he sees his dad over there. Or no, he sees this servant with this beggar, and it gets. I think Athena reveals Odysseus to his son. He's like, Dad. So they have their reconciliation, but Penelope is in like the kingdom with all these suitors around. It's because it's trouble over there. So they're kind of coming up with a plan. Now Odysseus, back as the beggar, goes into the kingdom, and he's kind of checking it out, sniffing around, and They see this beggar, and the big bully guy's like, hey, you old guy, fight this old guy. he's like, no, I don't want to. I'm an old man. I don't want to fight. And then this other like drunk guy, is like, he's like, come on, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, guys, I really don't want to do this. And they're like, no, you fight. And he damn near kills this guy, Odysseus, because he's still Odysseus. He just looks like this. And then this other guy comes up, and they like give him some food, and there's something where like one of the servant girls, like I think Penelope, like sees him and is like, hey, help this old man, like this isn't right. And they clean his the servant girl cleans his feet, and she sees a scar, and she starts crying because she knows it's him.
Really?
In disguise. Yeah, I guess people disguise a lot back then.
Hey, you're not Rickety Cricket.
It was
the Rock. It's the Rock, just like in a hood.
Yeah, and he has, I guess, the same kind of scars, but whatever. I don't know. So he now he's coming up with a plan, and Penelope says, and I can't totally remember if it's revealed to Penelope that this is him or not. I think she's a little skeptical. They had to keep it quiet. So now he goes back, and Penelope's like, all right, I know the pressure's on. I'm going to give you whoever can pull Odysseus's bow.
Giant bow.
Yeah. And put it through 10 axe heads.
That's right.
Now, I got to assume.
12.
10.
12.
10.
Okay.
Bet me.
Bet you $5.
It's not high stakes. But he, the bet is, so who can put the thing through, she'll take as her suitor. Now, none of these fucking guys can even pull the bow back.
Yeah.
Because they're not as
12,
great
by
as.
the way.
Huh? One more time?
It was 12.
Okay.
It was 12.
No, it wasn't. You're fucking wrong, too.
Tell that to Google, dude.
Well, look again.
Two get lost in translation. It was probably 10 in Greece. One was added when it was translated to Latin, and another one, we went to English.
Yeah.
If so,
I have 10 written down, and I have 10 heard. I'm gonna show you guys my sources.
All right.
But anyway, how'd you know it was 12?
I took a guess. I'm smart. I know things.
Yeah, whatever. I will talk to Google about it.
See how not excited to finish he is? This was me after I called about Pusillanimous, and he hung up on me right here. It's like, oh, you want to finish?
No, I don't care. I mean, I know what I heard, and I have written down here. I know I wouldn't leave off 2 axe heads.
So there's 11 axe heads.
Here's
They got
my
to shoot
thing.
it through the
What
middle.
is an axe head? An axe head, that's got to be. Now they have steel swords.
Yep.
So this has got to be like some sort of steel, I'd imagine, right?
The way I thought about it was, you know how the wood goes into the axe, so it didn't have like wood in there. It was like that. You know what I'm saying? So think of like the axe, instead of like being up like an axe, it's like laid, and it's like 12 of those like in a row without the wood in them. It's like that little area where the wood would go into the axe. I don't know what that's called.
Oh, so he doesn't actually have to pierce the axe head.
No, I don't think so.
I thought he had to shoot it through like iron.
No, I think the idea is that he has to pull it and shoot so straight that it goes through these axe heads. Yeah, that's my envisioning of it.
All right. That's interesting, because I thought, like, I'm like, how's what kind of arrow?
Threading the eye of the needle, you know?
What kind of arrow is about to pierce the steel?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The guy would really have to shoot.
So anyway, Odysseus,
shitty axe, really.
And there's one part where one guy, when he's a beggar, is nice to him, and it's like, and Odysseus kind of says to him, "Get out of here."
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
And the guy's like, "Thanks, old man. But I think I'll stick around."
Don't do that.
He's like, "Okay."
I tried.
So after Odysseus
Brother, you have no idea what I've gone through. Get out of here.
After he shoots the thing, he shoots it, I guess, through the axe heads, and whatever way that means. His next shot, he turns to that Damascus Demogorgon
Dylan.
Goes to Dylan, and he fucking shoots one right through his throat.
Right through it.
And his son Telemachus had hidden all these guys' weapons.
Sneaky.
Right? So they're looking for the weapons, and Odysseus just going off. Boom, 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 boom. Shooting arrows through all these fucking suitors, including the guy who was good to him, but he told him to leave and wouldn't leave. Hey, man, you trying to stick around and take my bitch? Sorry, I got an arrow for you, too.
Yeah.
So he shoots all these guys, reveals himself in his true form. Athena reveals him. He goes to Penelope, but Penelope's still a little skeptical. And she says something like, okay, but like tonight we need to separate the beds, and he's
like, baby, it's been 20 years.
And he's like, that's the thing. He's like, our bed can't be separated. He knows the way their bed's made. For whatever reason, it can't be separated. And that kind of proves to her that it's him. And she's like, so tell me, like, where have you been? Like, what's happened? He's like, basically like, how much time you got, baby? I think he says, where to begin.
Where have you been, and why do you smell like Calypso?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
But it's an iconic line, right? The end of it is an iconic.
Yeah, I think
line,
he's
right?
he's like, where to begin?
Where to begin?
Where do I begin? Yeah.
Wow.
And it's
truly. I mean, listen, it's an amazing story, and that's why it's
an
being
epic
told
poem.
10,000 years later, man. I mean, the poem has outlasted the empires that it was told in.
Yeah.
It's truly an immortal story. I mean, Odysseus is immortal in that way. If he ever lived at all, he's immortal.
Do you when you say if he lived at all, you think like it could be bullshit? Because I wonder with these things, like, it's obvious, like, yes, there's historical stuff of the Trojan War and of these things, but like, how much of this is real and how much this is just a story?
Well,
like,
my brother, there are things that we ourselves lived through 6 months ago that we were told it was fact, that we know for 100% fact now was bullshit. So who knows over the course of how many thousands of years what's real and what's not? I mean, who knows? You know, I love the idea of, like, people are like, Jesus is coming back. Can you imagine if Jesus came back and had no idea? And then he was like, who the hell is this Jesus guy everybody talking about, when his name was Yeshua? His name was Yeshua bin Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeshua or Yeshua bin Yosef, right? Or bin Yosef, I think would be, and that was his name. And everybody's like, oh my God, Jesus is back. It's like, why are you calling me that? That's not my name, man. Like, what the hell? Why did you guys say my wife is a whore? That was my wife, Mary. Like, what the hell? What's going on here? Like, who wrote this story?
Okay. And I also, because I guess it is sitting in my car a little bit, I'm going to send a video of you to you, Omri. And if they say 10 in some of these videos, you got to add that into the podcast.
Well, I just saying it right now. You're saying it right now.
If I'm right, let's see if I'm right or if I was wrong.
It seems like there's a bit of debate as to how many hacks.
But I just Googled, and it did say 12 on Google.
Okay.
But we're going to see.
It's really stuck in your craw. Big time.
I try and share this epic poem. I get corrected.
Ah, man.
I don't like being corrected.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So, is this your favorite story then of all time, or is this your favorite? You think, or
Nah, I don't know what is.
okay,
Good question. But they're fucking interesting.
they are.
Like I said, most fun part I had in one of the most fun parts I had in fucking school, at least in Latin class, was when they told the Trojan War story.
Yeah,
I like that shit. I like the war. I like the Trojan War better than I like the Odyssey.
So, I never actually read the whole Iliad or Odyssey. Where I know them from is I read Joseph Campbell's Hero Cycle. And
What's that?
So Joseph Campbell wrote the Hero Cycle, or some people call it the Hero Circle. He was
10 or 12, whatever.
Yeah, he was a professor that studied like hundreds of the most famous epics and hero stories of all time, and he found the connective tissue between all the great ones. And it's
What was that? Was it some? Well, how could you?
Yeah, I mean, I could pull up the entire thing. So basically, Star Wars is just Joseph Campbell's Hero Circle, and then Dan Harmon took it. It's the most famous storytelling, not device. What would you call it? You would call it template, I guess.
Template is a good word for it.
Joseph Campbell. It's pretty interesting. The hero's journey.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Omri.
The hero's journey is divided into three separate parts for the most part.
Well, no, that's not true. It's 3 acts, but the hero's journey is really, it's 3.
Well,
yeah, it's 3 to 4 acts within each act, right? To really summarize storytelling, traditional storytelling into the most basic form, is the first act is who, what, where, when, and why, right? Or I should say who, what, where, and when, right? The second act is why, and the third act is how. That's the easiest way to think about how you're breaking up a story. The first act is who, what, where, and when. Who are our good guys? Who are our bad guys? When is this happening? Establish the world, establish the players. The second act is why does it matter? You know what I mean? Why do we need to climb Mount Everest? What's at stake? And then the third act is how. All right, well, how we actually do it. And you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of that.
Okay.
And then the hero's journey, within that is you have your person, right? And you get their who. And their very first thing is their call to adventure. Somebody comes and XYZ happens. We've got to do this. Then they meet their supernatural friend, Aid, blah, 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 Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, whatever it is, right? Then you have, they begin with a mentor transformation, right? Then the mentor kind of falls away. There's normally a death, and that starts a metamorphosis, or a transformation, a rebirth. He goes from a good guy to a bad guy. He gets tempted. Jesus in the desert, whatever it is. He pushes away the temptation, transforms into the hero that we want. That sets up the third act, where it's the atonement. He wins, and then the final part of the movie is the return home, a brand new man.
Okay.
Or return home
Who are some of these sick heroes?
A tragic hero then would be the return home is the death.
Right. Who are some of these sick heroes?
So many of them. I mean,
name a couple. Name some of the ones that stood out.
Well, it's Star Wars literally just follows the hero's journey. I mean, it's Luke Skywalker. It's all of them together have their own hero's journey.
You said it referenced like the Odyssey and the Iliad.
So let's think Odysseus, right? Call to adventure.
No. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what other hero stories he's referencing.
Most literary people would say that this can be applied to pretty much anything. Let's talk about Tombstone. We just watched Tombstone, right?
All right, so he's not like telling about 100 different stories.
He analyzed them. He was about.
But he didn't mention all of them.
Yeah, he mentions a lot of them.
So you can't tell me a couple cool ones because then maybe
you want me to go?
Maybe I'll fucking check some of that shit out.
All right.
Neo from The Matrix is a good example for it. Harry Potter is a good example for it. Any teen fiction like Hunger Games, whatever, it's all hero's journey.
But he's talking about who
those
he
are
referenced.
some good examples, but
big reference with Moby Dick, Jane Eyre, anything by Dickens, Faulkner, Hemingway, Twain, Yeats, C.S. Lewis, Tolkien. Plato's Allegory of the Cave, Frank Baum's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
okay.
Yeah, his seminal work, Stanley Kubrick introduced Arthur C. Clarke to the book The Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell during the writing of 2001 A Space Odyssey. Arthur C. Clarke called Joseph Campbell's book very stimulating in his diary entry. All right? So The Hero with a Thousand Faces, if you want to get into that a little bit, and then we'll got to wrap this up soon.
Hey, yes, we do. And hey, if you're listening to this, you should know I love you. Look at how fucking sweaty I am. Look at my back. My back's sweaty. It feels sweaty. See that, Christian? Put my body on the line for these folks, and it's because I love you, and because I fight for you guys too. Put my body on the line, literally. Fucking sweating bricks over here. I got to get up at 6 in the morning and go whoop some ass.
Do you know who follows the hero's journey in every episode, and they actually make fun of the fact that they do it?
Who?
Rick and Morty.
Oh shit, that makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. The Hero with a Thousand Faces starts with Abraham, Aeneas, who fled Troy and founded Rome.
Yeah, made Rome.
Yep. There's literally 1,000 of these. Buddha. I mean, this is Dionysus, Cupid, and Psyche, the Divine Comedy. He goes on and on and on and on. The Hero with a Thousand Faces was seen as heretical by the Christian church because it basically said that the Bible, the New Testament, is a ripoff of Gilgamesh. Interesting. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of these things that are, this is kind of like how humans have evolved into telling a story. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end. This is the proper beginning, this is the middle, that's the end. That's what makes guys like Guy Ritchie or Quentin Tarantino and film such an exciting part of the human storytelling existence, because, you could put the end at the beginning and then tie it all together, weave it in. I mean, look at a guy like Orson Welles. I mean, how brilliant was he? He just decided that he was going to do the third act of a movie over the airwaves, and that was War of the Worlds. We're going to start this here at the end of the second act, and everybody thought it was real. I mean, these storytelling mediums are they evolve with technology, and for so long, it was just guys sitting around a campfire. Then the printing press changed that, and then however long it was until, audio changed that, and then visual changed that, and what's next? VR, immersive technology. Maybe one day when we're 80 and you're high on heroin, you're going to be able to plug into the Matrix, and they're going to be able to put you on Odysseus' ship, and you'll feel like you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Shit, Odysseus' ship on some H?
I think...
we could all be
I think I'd like to try me some of that Calypso.
we could all be fucking heroes. Go live your fucking hero... your hero story.
Yeah, hey, listen, that Bar Wars episode was fantastic. Live your greatness. And hey, at the beginning of this episode, to tie this thing all together, man, just because you are the way you are today doesn't mean that is the way you have to be tomorrow, man. If there's something you don't like about yourself, that's the one thing about the fat empowerment thing. It's like, look, man, you shouldn't feel bad about yourself, but you should be motivated to change anything that you aren't necessarily a fan of. The time's going to pass anyway. You can make the change. You can do it. It is doable. And you know what? Listen. Maybe listen to The Odyssey or Slick and Thick while you're on that 40-minute walk, and we'll get you there, all right?
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed.
You're awesome. We'll see you on Monday at 1 o'clock. For Omri to my left, Christian to my right, the great Mickey Gall. I am Gerard Michaels, and we'll see you Monday at 1 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of Gas Digital.